Back now and say, why was the NFL continuing to support with all the confusion going on in the media? And maybe it's all of that found money right there.
Out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about,
After we found out why Beyonce made a lot of the songs that she did and for what reasons, I am not shocked one bit to find out that Jay-Z is allegedly listed in the Epstein.
All right, check this out. 50 Cent is still turning up the heat on Jay-Z and Beyoncé, and he's clearly not interested in letting things cool off. Every time people think he's done, nah, he circles right back, keeping the spotlight exactly where he wants it. Things escalated big time when 50 started hinting that Beyoncé herself could somehow be tied into the broader Epstein controversy. By now, most folks have seen the chatter online about Jay-Z's name popping up in connection with Epstein-related documents. Once that rumor hit, social media blew up instantly. Here's the wild part. A woman claimed she woke up inside Epstein's mansion, alleging that Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein were both in the room with Epstein. Now, these are just allegations floating around online, but as soon as the story started gaining traction, 50 Cent jumped in on social media, making it clear he was watching closely. He publicly said he wanted to make a documentary digging into Jay-Z's alleged connection to Epstein, posting, "Damn, they got your man Jay in the Epstein files. I gotta do a doc on this." That one post alone sent the situation into overdrive. Now, according to reports, this is where Beyoncé allegedly stepped in. Sources claim she had her legal team contact 50, warning him to stop posting about Jay-Z and Epstein. But anyone who knows 50 knows pressure like that rarely works the way it's intended. Instead of cooling things down, the alleged warning reportedly added more fuel to the fire. A source close to Beyoncé said she was furious because the Carters thought the issue had already been handled quietly. There are even claims that major media outlets were allegedly paid to avoid covering the story. People noticed posts disappearing while the big platforms stayed silent. The Carters may have assumed the controversy would die down, but they didn't count on 50 Cent. If there's a shot to take at Jay-Z, 50 rarely passes it up. He has a reputation for leaning into the chaos, not avoiding it.
On since 2006, and it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. And for a very long time, I put this person on a pedestal. I loved them. I'd send emails, publicly, happy birthday and all this stuff. And the entire time, this person was casting spells and manipulating me and controlling my job situations, my relationships, just all.
All right, listen to this. After word got out about the alleged legal warning, 50 Cent jumped back on social media with a cryptic post hinting that Beyoncé might want to chill. He even dropped an AI-generated clip of himself with the caption, "I smell beef and popcorn," making it clear he is far from done. With 50 continuing to stir the pot, everyone's watching closely to see what might pop up next. His track record shows he's willing to dig deep, uncovering things most people didn't even know existed. Now, the real question, how far is he willing to go this time? If 50 was that thorough, digging into past situations, it's not hard to imagine him bringing that same energy to the Carters. That's why the hot topic right now is whether Beyoncé can actually stop 50 from making a documentary focused on Jay-Z. Based on online chatter, most fans don't think she has that kind of pull. Social media has been loud, with people saying she should either step back or stay quiet entirely. Some even joked she might need legal advice of her own, but everyone seems to agree, trying to silence 50 usually blows up in your face. At the same time, there's a growing segment of the internet that believes Beyoncé could be complicit in whatever Jay-Z allegedly did. That's also why a divorce seems unlikely. Jay and Beyoncé probably have leverage on each other, and staying together keeps both sides protected. And let's not forget, Beyoncé hasn't been completely free of controversy herself. Over the years, there have been claims that she blocks other female artists, and darker rumors that drift into full-on conspiracy territory. While most of these are unverified, they keep resurfacing whenever her name trends. One particularly unsettling story came from former NFL player Larry Johnson, who claimed he attended a strange party hosted by Jay-Z and Beyoncé back in the early 2000s.
We're a photo shoot in Colorado, and I think it was during the winter time of 06 or 07. And Naomi Campbell was there, actress Jamie King was there, Jay was there, B was there, and he rented this house, and we were supposed to do this rap party for this photo shoot. We rented this house, and we were watching LeBron play. And after the game, it had to have been like 10 or 11 o'clock. So we getting ready to party. Mind you, it's all adults. There was a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old teenage Latin girl that was there, and I think she had to leave because she had school and she had to do homework, but she brought her mother with her. So it was no funny business going on, which I could respect that. So when 11 o'clock hit, we turned on the music, we started drinking, and then out of nowhere came these young children. I don't know where they came from. For a rap party at 11 o'clock at night, drinking loud music and us dancing wild, like I don't know where these kids came from. And then I happened to sit down because I was dancing with one of the assistants. And I sat next to this child, and the child sat next to Beyonce. So I hear B say something about, doesn't this look sexy, or isn't this sexy? And in my mind, and mind you, I'm not awakened as I'm awakened now. So in my mind, I'm like, what did she just say? And then I didn't pay no attention to it. And then, obviously the liquor took hold of me and I had to leave. So I said bye to everybody and left. But those kids remained. I don't know if those kids were from the photo shoot themselves, but
Johnson said the vibe of the event made him feel uneasy and confused. He talked mainly about the atmosphere and the conversations that took place, and although no solid evidence has ever backed up his claims, they continue to be brought up online. On top of that, there have been ongoing rumors linking Beyoncé to dark spiritual practices, including talk of witchcraft and ritual symbolism. Again, none of these accusations have been proven, but what keeps them alive is where some of them originated. Back in 2018, Beyoncé's former drummer, Kimberly Thompson, publicly accused her of being involved in what she described as extreme witchcraft. She even filed for a restraining order, which made the allegations part of public records and reignited debate. She wasn't the only former team member to raise eyebrows. Beyoncé's former dance captain, Ashley Everett, was later seen liking posts that suggested her music carried darker symbolism. While liking a post doesn't prove belief, fans were quick to connect the dots. Another former dancer, Kata Cherie, who worked on the Formation video and Super Bowl performance in 2016, posted emotional accusations on Instagram that shocked many people. She used harsh language and made personal claims before deleting the post shortly after. Most people would have missed it if Tasha K hadn't shared screenshots on X and later discussed them on her YouTube channel. Once those screenshots spread, the allegations took on a life of their own online. To be clear, these are still just allegations, not confirmed facts. No one is saying any of this has been proven. But when similar stories keep resurfacing about the same people from different voices over time, that's when people start wondering, at what point does coincidence turn into a pattern?
Of doing black magic. Now here's what I'm going to say. Everybody ain't lying. I spent probably a week doing research on all the people that they were connected with, and all of them are connected to some sort of black magic, some sort of witchery. Okay? This is an ex-dancer of hers, and now we remember the ex-drummer that came out, and we call her crazy too. We got the interview of the drummer. Y'all remember her? And she was saying that Beyonce was using witchcraft and all that stuff, and it always comes out around the time when she getting ready to cipher for a new album. I know Beyonce's a witch. I saw the Lemonade visuals.
One rumor is easy to ignore. Even two can be brushed aside. But when similar claims keep surfacing, especially from people who were once close to the situation, that's when the public starts slowing down and paying real attention. That's when questions stop sounding random and start sounding serious. There's also another angle that doesn't get talked about enough. The idea that Jay-Z and Beyoncé may not actually be fully in control. As powerful and wealthy as they appear, many believe there are even bigger forces behind the scenes pulling strings. This connects back to comments Kanye West once made, suggesting that major celebrities aren't as free as they seem. He hinted that fame often comes with leverage, pressure, and unseen consequences tied to past decisions. When you stack everything together, the Epstein-related chatter, the silence for major media outlets, Beyoncé's alleged legal pressure toward 50 Cent, and older allegations resurfacing, some people feel the image of the Carter empire is starting to crack. The question now is whether that image can be repaired, or if too much doubt has already settled in. Once public perception starts forming, it's extremely difficult to reverse. Even when facts remain unclear, opinions tend to stick. Now people are left wondering what comes next. Is 50 Cent bluffing about a documentary involving Jay-Z and Epstein, or does he actually have material that could shift the conversation in a major way? And where does Beyoncé fit into all of this? Some see her as someone who may have been influenced early on. Others believe she is fully aware and actively involved. Either way, the speculation isn't slowing down, and the spotlight isn't moving anytime soon. At the center of all this noise is an uncomfortable reality. Public trust doesn't disappear overnight. It erodes slowly. When powerful figures are surrounded by repeated controversy, even without proven wrongdoing, the accumulation alone reshapes how people see them. People don't need a courtroom verdict to start forming opinions. They just need enough unanswered questions. That's why this situation feels heavier than a single allegation. It isn't about one rumor. It's about how often the same names resurface when discussions turn to power, influence, and silence. Another layer that keeps coming up is the idea that Jay-Z and Beyoncé may not be operating independently at the very top. Despite their wealth and cultural reach, many believe the industry is structured so that even its biggest stars answer to larger forces. Kanye's past comments about leverage and control changed how many fans interpret silence and compliance, whether they agree with him or not. This is also why the situation with 50 Cent stands out. He operates outside the usual industry fear system. His brand has never depended on being universally liked, and that gives him freedom most artists don't have. When someone like him openly hints at exposing powerful figures, people pay attention, not because they assume guilt, but because they understand the risk involved. The fact that he appears unfazed by alleged legal pressure only fuels more speculation about what he may or may not know. As for Beyoncé, public opinion is still all over the place. Some see her as a protected figure, carefully groomed and managed since she was a teenager, maybe even shaped by forces she didn't fully control early on. Others argue that staying at that level for so long takes awareness and active participation, not innocence. That tension is exactly why her name keeps popping up, not because of concrete proof, but because people struggle to reconcile global admiration with repeated controversy. Until transparency replaces speculation, the questions aren't going anywhere. They'll keep circulating quietly, subtly shaping how the public sees power in the entertainment world.
They could control Charles Barkley. They could control LeBron James. They could control Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Not
You're out in Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize.
What makes this moment different from past celebrity controversies is how many threads are colliding at once. It's not just one rumor or one voice making noise. This is allegations, industry silence, resurfaced accusations, and public figures openly breaking the usual rules of discretion, all hitting at the same time. When that happens, even the strongest images start to wobble. For years, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been icons of control, success, and cultural dominance. Their brand has always been about precision, privacy, and power. That's why even the smallest crack gets amplified. People aren't just watching to see if accusations are true or false. They're watching the machine react, seeing who stays quiet and who suddenly finds their voice. And then there's 50 Cent, adding another layer entirely. Unlike most in the industry, he doesn't need media gatekeepers or elite circles to green-light his moves. When he openly challenges powerful names, it forces conversations that normally stay behind closed doors. Whether he actually makes a documentary almost becomes secondary. The impact is already in the questions he's raising and the reactions he's triggering. What's also obvious is that the public doesn't consume celebrity narratives the same way anymore. People are sharper, more skeptical of polished statements, and more aware of the power moves behind the scenes. Silence, once dignity, now reads as avoidance. Legal threats, once invisible, now spark rumors. In an age where information moves faster than control, even carefully built empires struggle to keep up. Beyoncé's role remains the most debated part of all this. Some see her as shaped by a system that controlled her choices long before she had agency. Others argue that surviving and dominating at this level requires full awareness and participation. Neither side has concrete proof, but both reveal just how complex entertainment power really is. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one couple, one rapper, or one allegation. It's about influence, narrative control, and what happens when someone refuses to play by the rules. Whether this blows over or escalates depends on who speaks next and how boldly. So now the spotlight is on you. Do you think this is all smoke with no fire, or is there more lurking beneath the surface? Is 50 Cent just stirring attention, or is he signaling something bigger? And where does Beyoncé really stand? Shielded, complicit, or somewhere in between? The answers may never be fully clear, but the conversation itself shows how people see power, fame, and silence in today's industry.